WESH 2 News with your Weather Plus forecast starts right now.
We are facing a storm that most of us have feared.
That monstrous storm is coming ashore right now.
49 years of living here, never my first time ever seeing something like this.
Prayers go out to those in the path of Category 5 Hurricane Katrina. Good evening, I'm Joe Oliver. Good evening, Central Florida, and to those of you watching and listening in New Orleans.
I'm Jim Payne. We are simulcasting for our Hearst Argyle sister station, WDSU, where employees have evacuated.
Hurricane Katrina expected to be catastrophic, and right now we're seeing maximum sustained force winds of more than 150 miles an hour.
This huge Category 5 storm is on course to make a direct hit somewhere near New Orleans. And we have some live pictures from the city right now. We have a team of reporters lining the Gulf Coast, but first, WESH 2 Weather Plus meteorologists Amy Sweezy and Leslie Hudson are tracking Katrina's every move, and we'll begin tonight with Amy.
And Jim, we just got the new information in from the National Hurricane Center moments ago, and we do have a new track and new intensity to tell you about. And unfortunately, Hurricane Katrina still a Category 5 storm. It has winds at 160 miles per hour with gusts even higher. We'll show you the new path right now, and you'll be able to see that it hasn't fluctuated a whole lot from earlier, just a teeny tiny little shift back to the east. Still expected to make landfall tomorrow morning with winds in the Category 5 area. And then, of course, once it makes landfall, it will start to fall apart, but it is going to take some time. Still on Monday, late in the day, in the evening, winds expected to be at 100 miles per hour all the way up into central Mississippi. Winds are at 160 right now, and it is moving to the north-northwest at 10 miles per hour. We also want to show you what it looks like on Storm Tracker right now, and we actually have a 6 up there, Weather Plus. That is our folks that are joining us from New Orleans tonight in Louisiana who are watching. You can see the showers and storms wrapping around this. The hurricane force winds just now starting to move into southern Louisiana. We've been tracking this for the last several hours. They have had wind gusts up to even 74 miles per hour in parts of this storm. In fact, as we go in just a little bit closer in Boothville and in Venice, we've got winds that have been reported up to 70 miles per hour. You can see some of these as we plot them on the map. 58 mile per hour there just to the southeast of Grand Isle, and that is a severe thunderstorm, but this is just the beginning. Those winds expected to intensify. We'll head over to meteorologist Leslie Hudson right now, who has a little bit more on the storm. Leslie?
Okay, Amy, thanks a lot. As we continue to give you coverage here, I want to actually just show a quick look at Super Doppler 2. You will not look familiar to you folks here in the Orlando area. I've actually taken the banner off for the folks that are in Louisiana, but we've been showing this arrow all night, and we're seeing a little bit of a bobble more towards the north, but that might just be a bobble. We're, of course, are concerned whether this is going to make landfall west or east of the city of New Orleans. It is forecast right now to make landfall right over the city of New Orleans. Coming up in just a few minutes, we will take a 3D look inside the eye of the hurricane with Viper Plus.
Leslie, 70% of the city of New Orleans is below sea level. As many as 35,000 people trying to escape the fury of Hurricane Katrina have taken shelter in the Louisiana Superdome. We have team coverage from the Gulf Coast, starting with Leanne Gregg in Covington, Louisiana.
With one of the biggest and strongest storms ever approaching, thousands of people made their way to the New Orleans Superdome, and now the wait is on. The city opened the dome as a huge shelter of last resort. Buses equipped with handicapped lifts brought people who had no way to evacuate or nowhere to go.
I can't get out. How am I going to get out?
All day, people fled the city. Interstate 10 was jammed. A few hotels were exempt from the city's mandatory evacuation and took in stranded tourists. Some were forced to stay at the New Orleans airport.
It's beyond frustrating. I just want to get home. I'm not well and I want to get home.
A direct hit by Katrina could put parts of the downtown area under more than 20 feet of floodwater.
This is very serious, and it's of the highest nature. And that's why we're taking this unprecedented move.
Katrina has even silenced the famed French Quarter, where usually the party never ends. Now it's ghostly quiet as Mother Nature's wrath is set to bear down. Leanne Gregg, NBC News, Covington, Louisiana.
As night fell, there were clear indications Katrina was inching toward the Gulf Coast. The violent storm still showing signs it would be one of the strongest to ever strike the U.S. Mandatory evacuations are in effect. Millions have moved to higher ground, and businesses, including the casinos in Biloxi, have all cashed out. But there are still some here stocking up to ride out the storm.
In case we lose power, and I've got a 94-year-old mother that needs it for medicine.
In Mississippi, many point out they lived through Camille, a Category 5 hurricane in 1969 that ultimately killed more than 250 people.
Just because you made it through Camille doesn't mean you can make it through this one.
And in this area that has weathered so many storms, Katrina is much different and much too dangerous for anyone to ignore. Tonight, the streets here in Biloxi are empty. There are curfews in place up and down the Gulf Coast as Katrina is now just hours away from landfall. In Biloxi, Jay Gray, NBC News.
Well, people in the Florida Panhandle are also being evacuated, including our own Michelle Meredith. Michelle spent the day heading east out of Pensacola Beach, and we spoke with her by phone just moments ago.
Now, our journey started in Pensacola Beach this morning. That's where we originally were set up to go live from during Hurricane Katrina. We assumed that would be a safe place since it's 300 miles from New Orleans, but turns out we were wrong. Hurricane Katrina is so big and so bad. They're expecting a storm surge in Pensacola Beach anywhere from 10 to 12 feet, so they evacuated the beach. We had to leave. It's very hard to find a room. We ended up here at the Holiday Inn in Panama City Beach. They're calling it the Refugee Hotel because we are here with about 1,000 evacuees from New Orleans, some who have been driving since 5 in the morning to get here. Now, I have to tell you, the scene reminds me so much of Central Florida's horrific hurricane season. The people from New Orleans are here with their pets, their dogs on a leash. They look very tired, and they tell me that they're very, very worried about the fate of their beloved city. I'm Michelle Meredith reporting for WESH 2 News.
Meanwhile, Katrina's first victims still have to wait in long lines for gas, food, and water in Miami. Remember, Katrina only a Category 1 when it slammed the South Coast. Florida has had lots of practice when it comes to dealing with hurricanes, and now Florida is ready to offer assistance or resources to other states in the path of this catastrophic storm. WESH 2's Erica Washington joins us. And Erica, how is Florida planning to help?
Well, Joe, FP&L, Progress Energy, OUC, and KUA all planned on sending crews there once the storm makes landfall, and they're given the go-ahead. The Red Cross volunteers are also on standby, prepared to leave for 3 weeks, and they're just waiting to get a call from their national headquarters. The goal is for Florida to provide support to whoever needs it.
While Florida may have dodged the worst of Hurricane Katrina, we are still feeling the effects of this Category 5 storm. A shortage on fuel is prompting the governor to ask residents to use gas responsibly.
This is a time for neighbors to help neighbors, to recognize that if we work together to conserve, we can get through these challenges that will exist.
Another challenge, cleanup. In South Florida, crews are working to restore power and clean up debris and downed trees from the path of destruction Katrina left behind as a Category 1 storm. On Saturday, Progress Energy sent 200 crews from Orlando to help get customers out of the dark. KUA and Florida Power and Light also sent some of their workers and equipment to the hardest hit areas. From the looks of it, the hardest hit area will be New Orleans. Governor Bush expects Floridians to step up to the plate and help out wherever needed.
Florida has some practice in this, and we're more than happy to lend a helping hand to our neighbors, just as they did to us last summer.
Last summer, power crews from across the country spent weeks in Central Florida following Hurricanes Charlie, Francis, Ivan, and Jean. Now it's our turn to help out.
And we will be there with our friends and neighbors in Louisiana and Mississippi and Alabama.
Again, Florida crews will be ready to send as many crews as possible while maintaining a stable workforce here. Jim?
Erica, thanks a lot. Stay with WESH 2 Weather Plus for live continuing coverage throughout the night on Katrina. We'll have the newest coordinates every half hour here on WESH 2 News, and you'll find 24-hour coverage on WESH.com, our one-of-a-kind Weather Plus network on Bright House Digital Cable Channel 1021. And we'll have live reports from MSNBC throughout the night, and tune in for an early edition of Sunrise with Mark Middleton and Claire Metz starting at 4:30. By then, the people along the Gulf Coast will really be feeling the effects of Hurricane Katrina. Well, Hurricane Katrina is going to have a direct impact on all Americans.
Well, if you thought the gas prices were high now, Find out why Katrina may damage your wallet the next time you fill your tank.
And all of you watching in New Orleans and listening are feeling the effects right now. We're watching Katrina come ashore. We will continue to simulcast here in Orlando for our sister station WDSU as the employees there relocate and get back on the air, and the familiar faces you're used to seeing, hopefully you'll see them again.
That's a live picture from New Orleans as Katrina comes closer to shore.
Get back on the air, and the familiar faces you're used to seeing, hopefully you'll see them again.
That's a live picture from New Orleans as Katrina comes
in New Orleans and listening are feeling the effects right now. We're watching Katrina come ashore. We will continue to simulcast here in Orlando.
damage, and it now appears Katrina may damage your wallet the next time you fill up your tank. Today, oil companies shut down 1 million barrels of daily oil production in the Gulf of Mexico and may halt refining activity. Industry workers in the Gulf have been evacuated. The Category 5 hurricane could damage oil platforms and refineries along the Gulf Coast and in the Gulf of Mexico. People all along the Gulf Coast are trying to get out before Katrina moves in. The National Weather Service warned that Mississippi could get hit by record flooding. Tonight, residents could be seen along Highway US 90 trying to get out of the area. Thousands waited in the rain to get inside New Orleans Superdome. Those who could not leave will spend the night. The National Guard is on hand at the Superdome to help maintain order. And it's hard to believe, but some people were actually drinking on the notorious Bourbon Street this afternoon. Category 5 Katrina packing a punch. Even the stronger levees the city has in place will not withstand a storm surge of an anticipated possible 20 feet in height.
They have the look of tourists, don't they? Yeah, they sure do. Well, the last major hurricane to directly hit New Orleans was Hurricane Betsy. Betsy slammed into New Orleans back in 1965, killing more than 70 people. The storm surge overflowed the city's levees, leaving much of the city underwater. Now, Hurricane Camille devastated the Louisiana and Mississippi coasts in 1969, killing 256 people. The Category 5 storm caused $1.5 billion worth of damage. The last Category 5 storm to hit the U.S. hit South Florida in 1992. Hurricane Andrew leveled parts of the south of our state and killed 43 people. To date, Andrew caused the most damage in U.S. history, $31 billion. And we are providing continuous coverage for Central Florida and for those of you who are watching and listening in New Orleans.
We're simulcasting for our sister station, WDSU, where employees have evacuated to safer locales, and they hope to get back on the air as soon as possible. Let's take a look at some live pictures now from New Orleans as we see some of the outer bands of Katrina making sure the winds in some places approaching 70 miles an hour.
And we still have all the technology tied into our New Orleans station, and we have a team of meteorologists tracking Katrina's every move. First, let's get over to meteorologist Amy Sweezy.
We have a brand new information from the National Hurricane Center, and unfortunately, Katrina is still a Category 5 storm. That means winds are at 160 miles per hour. In fact, we had a wind gust reported recently of 90 miles per hour. That was in Southwest Pass, Louisiana. That was just before 11 o'clock Eastern, 10 o'clock Central Time, and the estimated minimum central pressure still at 904 millibars. Take a look at the latest path. We still expect the storm to make landfall late tonight into early tomorrow, and it is right now moving to the north-northwest at 10 miles per hour. The center of the storm about 105 miles south of the mouth of the Mississippi River and about 170 miles south-southeast of New Orleans right now. Now, as I said, it is moving north-northwest at this point, but a turn to the north is still expected, a little bit more of a turn to the north in the next 12 to 24 hours, and that takes it there right near New Orleans as we get into early tomorrow morning, and then it continues to lose a little steam, but notice still a Category 2 storm, winds up to even 100 miles per hour, even up into central Mississippi. So this is a powerful, powerful storm. Storm tracker right now showing the leading edge of the showers and the storms rolling through the northernmost part of the Gulf Coast. That's in the New Orleans area. We have already had some wind gusts reported at greater than 74 miles per hour. 74 miles per hour, of course, a Category 1 hurricane, so that's the very minimal winds that we will be experiencing. Going in a little bit closer here, I am going to switch colors on us from the rain colors and switch over to velocity mode, which indicates the wind that is inside these rain bands and these storms. In the lightest of the green, just to the east of Venice, we're talking about winds again at 74 miles per hour, some of which are mixing down to the surface. On the west side of Port Sulphur and Grand Isle, just to the south of New Orleans, we're also talking about winds up to 74 miles per hour. We'll switch over to another color here. This is just kind of a prettier way to look at the winds. When you see the yellows and the oranges there, we're talking about winds inside the thunderstorm up to even 100 miles per hour. A lot of that mixing to the ground, so probably between 70 and 80 mile per hour winds just to the east of Belle Chase, just to the east of New Orleans. So definitely a powerful storm, just the leading edge of this starting